Hello and welcome to your tutorial on New World Symphony. All right, let's take a look. We are going as far up on the treble staff as the A above treble G, but we are going all the way down to an octave below that, the G below middle C, using these ledger lines. So that's all the way down to the G below middle C. And we have a couple of other ledger lines to discuss. And then in the left hand, our highest note is middle C, but then we're going all the way down again to a C below that. So students, I gotta show you that last note. Right here, it shows up a couple of times. Okay, so some of these notes will be new to you, and as you can see, a couple of them have already been written in as a courtesy because we know you are not familiar with these ledger lines. But otherwise, we're going to leave it to your teacher class by class whether to include any other notations such as a finger number or a note name for notes that are brand new to you, that you've not learned before. But we can also rely on our intervals and just going over the notes before you start digging into the song, if it's just one or two. So let's just start making our way through. Our rhythms in this song are fairly simple. We do have hands playing together many times, and in some measures the right hand is moving at a different rhythm than the left hand. Right hand's moving quarter notes, left hand's moving half notes. We have some accidentals, meaning some sharps thrown in, and we will be changing our hand position from time to time. So we're just going to go line by line and address everything hands separately and then hands together. Okay, so looking at the first line, the first thing I want to do is a rhythm tap. Okay, and actually instead of hands separately, we're going to go ahead and do those hands together because I think at this stage you probably can just tackle the simultaneous tapping rather than having to separate it out. But if you also want to separate it out, that's fine too. All right, so here we go. We're going to tap through the entire first line. And I want you to notice that in the second measure, we do have a rest. Excuse me. And so we have to make sure you've lifted your left hand off of its note when it comes time for this rest, all right? So here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Together, right, right for 2, together, right, right, left hands up, together, right, 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 together, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's it. So you can do that a few times. And now we're going to put your right hand in position. And the finger number is not actually written here, so I'm going to go ahead and make a decision for us that we're going to start with our third finger on the B below middle C. And why do you think I'm doing that? I'm doing that because we have to get all the way down to that G, and so I want a finger ready for that G, so my thumb is on G. So this first note, you can see that this line would have been middle C, and the note right below middle C is B. So that new ledger line is B. Now, if we go from middle C, skipping over the B to the next line note, that would be an A, C to A. And of course, this note is one step further. That's a fourth below middle C. We went from C, skipped the B, skipped the A, all the way down to a G. All right, so just kind of memorize what you can. B, A, and G. And just in case you haven't thought of it, this A is also the same A that can be written on this top bass line. And this G is the same G that would be written in this space right under the top bass line. Okay, those are the same notes, but when we want to play it with the right hand, we write it as a ledger line. And when we want to play it with the left hand, we'll put it on the staff. Okay? All right. All right, so now that we have talked about what our new notes look like, let's put our hands in that position and let's just get oriented with the keys that we're on, okay? So play the B, that's your third finger. Play the G, that's your thumb. Play a D, that's your pinky. Play a C, that's your fourth finger. Play an A, that's your second finger. You might want to spend a little bit of time with that. Make sure you know which finger is in charge of which note. Now we're going to speak through the melody notes on the first line in the right hand. 1, 2, here we go. B, D, D for 2. B, A, G for 2. A, B, D, B, A, 2, 3, 4. Now, how'd you do with that? Once the little letters and parentheses weren't there, were you still able to remember that the second ledger line down is an A and the note right under middle C's line is a B? I hope so. All right, now let's play it. 1, 2, here we go. B, D, D for 2. B, A, G for 2. A, B, D, B, A, 2, 3, 4. Very good. All right, so you'll play that a few times, but let's look at what's going on in the left hand. Our left hand has thumb on the note right above bass F, which is a G. And we stay on that G. And then we go to this note, which is the third line on the bass staff, and that is a D. Okay, and you can tell the distance, all right? That's the G, that line would be F, that space would be E, so there's a D, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and drill our fingers in the left hand, and that's gonna include this note, which is right below the D, so that's a C. And while we're in this hand position, those are the notes we need to be aware of. So play your G, that's your thumb. Play your D, that's your 4. Play your C, that's your 5. Where's an E? That's your third finger. Where's an F? Second finger. Your G, your low C, your D. All right, good. All right, let's call out the letter names for the first line, left hand. 1, 2, here we go. G, 2, 3, 4. G for 2, rest for 2, then D, 2, 3, 4, then D, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's play it. 1, 2, here we go, and G, 2, 3, 4, G for 2, rest for 2, then D, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're going to put those hands together. Now, when I play it together, you can continue to play one hand or the other and then just play my recording over and over again until you're ready to play both hands. But notice, when I have my third finger of my right hand on this B and my thumb of my left hand on this G, I'm going to be taking turns with who's playing the G. That's just how this particular arrangement is written. So be sure to follow those fingering rules as we are setting them out, okay? All right, so here we go. First 2 notes to play together will be the left hand thumb and the right hand third finger on B. 1, 2, here we go, and together, right, right for 2. Together, right, right hand takes the G for 2, left hand move. And together, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. That had some interesting switching off. 1, 2, here we go. And together. Hold for 2. Together. Right hand takes over for 2. Together. 4 and 2. It happens again. Left hand 4, right hand 2. 2, 3, 4. It can be very helpful to note what 2 fingers are playing together at each point in the line. So first it's 1 and 3. Again, it's 1 and 3. Then it's 4 and 2. Again, it's 4 and 2. All right, those simultaneous movements are sometimes very tricky to coordinate which finger is playing in which hand. So that's a good thing to zoom in on. And remember, when I say 4 and 2, I always mean 4 is the lower note, 2 is the higher note. Okay, that way you can kind of immediately think of it as left hand, right hand. 1 and 3, 4 and 2. Okay? All right, now we're going to move on to the second line. All right, for line 2, you're going to see that the first 2 measures are exactly the same. All right, so let's talk about the second half. All right, so the second half of the line, we have our ledger line below middle C, which is our A, and we need to identify our four notes in this measure and our final note, A, B, A, G, G. Say that with me. A, B, A, G, G. Now the left hand, we have our thumb on G, so a fifth below where our 5th finger is naturally landing is a C. C for 2 up to D for 2. All right, so now let's just play each hand all the way through its line, hands separately, calling out the letters as we go. 1, 2, start with B, B, D, D for 2, B, A, G for 2, A, B, A, G, G, 2, 3, 4. Now the left hand, here we go, G, 2, 3, 4, G for 2, rest, rest, C for 2, D for 2, rest, 2, 3, 4. All right, now let's put those hands together. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Right hand takes over. 5 and 2. 4 and 2. And rest left hand. 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. I'm going to call out those left hand, right hand fingers as they play together. 1, 2, second line. Here we go. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. 5 and 2. 4 and 2. 2, 3, 4. That's it. Okay, so what we've learned is in the first 2 lines, our hands stay in one hand position. Okay, so I'm actually going to play the first 2 lines all the way through, calling out the note names in the right hand and calling out the fingers numbers as I can. Okay, 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 3. D, D for 2. 1 and 3. A down to G. Here we go. 4 and 2. B, D, B, 4 and 2 on A. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 3. 5. Hold for 2. 1 and 3. A to G. Here we go. 5 and 2. 4 on 2 to G to G. 2, 3, 4. All right, very good. Now we're on our third line and things do change. My right hand third finger is now on E. My left hand thumb is going to move up to C. But let's look at the right hand by itself for a minute and let's just call out the letter names for the right hand. Or actually, you know what, before we do that, I like to do the rhythm taps first. So let's do the rhythm taps, both hands, line 3. 1, 2, here we go. Together, right, right for 2. Together, left, right, right for 2. Together, right, together, right, together, 2, 3, 4. All right, very good. Now we're going to call out the letter names in the right hand. So now I've moved from G being my low note and D being my high note to third finger on E, which makes C my low note and G my high note. So we should do another little orientation, also keeping in mind that now we have these F sharps. So find your E, third finger. Find your C, thumb. Find your G, pinky. Find your D, second finger. Find your F sharp, fourth finger. G, E, D, F sharp, C, E. All right, get nice and oriented with that. Now let's call out our note names for this line. 1, 2, here we go. E, G, G for 2. F sharp, D, E for 2. E, G, F sharp, D, E, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now let's play it. 1, 2, here we go. E, G, G for 2, F sharp, D, E for 2, E, G, F sharp, D, E, 2, 3, 4. Good. All right, let's look at the left hand. My left hand is now thumb on middle C. The only new note I have, or the only other note I have, is this. It's a fourth below. That is a G. That should hopefully be one of the notes that you have learned. So thumb is C, fourth finger is G. All right, so let's play that left-hand line. We'll just call out the letters and play it at the same time. 1, 2, here we go, and C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C for 2, G for 2, C, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're going to do them together. Remember, I'm going to call out the numbers of the fingers that play at the same time as a little prompt. And if you want to play along with me, just one hand for now, that's fine. You can always rewind the tape, rewind the video and play it over and over again. Third line, hands together. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 3, hold for 2, 1 and 4, hold for 2, 1 and 3, 4 and 4, 1 and 3, 2, 3, 4. Here, let's do that again. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 3, hold for 2, 1 and 4, hold for 2, 1 and 3, 4 and 4, 1 and 3, 2, 3, 4. All right, very good. Now we're going to the fourth line. So our fourth line does jump again in hand position. So remember, we started the song with our third finger on the B below middle C. And on the third line, we moved up to the third finger on the E above middle C. We're going to go back down, but just for the first measure. Then for the second measure, we have to get to that treble G with our third finger. So you need to write a 3 on your music right above that treble G so that you can get to your third finger, get your third finger to that treble G, because that's going to give us enough fingers to finish out this song. All right, so let's do our taps one more time for this last line. 1, 2, here we go. Together, right, hold for 2, together, right, hold for 2, together, right, together, right, together, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I don't know if I pointed out at the beginning of the song that we went all the way up to this B. I feel like I might have only been looking at the ledger lines. So we do go up to the B above middle C, above treble G. So if that's a new note for you, that's what this is. So we have treble G, up a step to A, and then up a step to B. Okay, so let's call out our note names, keeping in mind the jump here. So actually, let's do the jump. So we have our third finger on the G, and let's just do our orientation here. So where's our G? third finger. Where's our B? Fifth finger. Where's our A? Fourth finger. Where's our E? Thumb. How about an F? Yep. How about an E? And an A? And a B? And a G? Good. Okay, so, your teacher might recommend a fingering notation or two in there to help you remember any new notes, especially because we're on the heels of a jump. But that's really up to the level of your class and what you're ready for, what you've learned so far. All right, so here we go. We're going to name the note names while we just move our hand in position, but we're not going to play it yet. So last line, right hand only. 1, 2, here we go. B, D, D for 2. G, A, B for 2. A, G, A, E, G, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's do that last line one more time. 1, 2, here we go. B, D, D for 2. G, A, B for 2. A, G, A, E, G, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're going to play it. 1, 2, here we go. B, D, D for 2 and jump. G, A, B for 2. A, G, A, E, G, 2, 3, 4. All right, looking at the left hand. The left hand is back with the thumb on G. We've been there before. For the left hand, we've either had our thumb on G or our thumb on C, so we're actually pretty comfortable here. You could do another orientation if you want. Find the G, find the C, find the D, right? Those are the main notes that you're going to be using. Let's go ahead and call it out. 1, 2, here we go, and G, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, and C for 2, and D for 2, and G, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's play it. Here we go, and G, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, and C for 2, and D for 2, and G, 2, 3, 4. All right, putting those hands together on the last line. Remember, we have a jump in the right hand. I'm going to call out the finger numbers that play at the same time from left to right. 1, 2, here we go. G and B. Hold for 2, 1 and 3. 5 and 4. 4 and 4. 1 and 3. 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2. Here we go. 1 and 3. Hold for 2. 1 and 3. Hold for 2. 5 and 4. 4 and 4. 1 and 3. 2, 3, 4. All right, that's it. So what I'm going to do now is go to the big piano, and I'm going to play the whole song for you at a reasonable performance tempo. So let me just pull that up on my metronome. All right, I have my metronome set to 75 equals the quarter note. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, here I go. There you go. All right, have fun.